Right now, 86 out of 100 people are actively scrolling through pictures of their ex. In psychology, this stems from FOMO, the mental friction created by the gap between your current life and the believed reality you lost. Most people respond to this friction by aggressively chasing attention to bridge that gap. They send desperate texts or post performative updates, unaware that the harder they try to be seen, the less valuable they appear. Take this portrait of Cristiano Ronaldo. Despite his status, a significant number of women in a public poll described this look as disgusting. The problem is the perceived effort. The rigid grooming and intense posing signal a desperation for approval that triggers a subconscious ick. Renaissance thinkers countered this with sprezzatura, the art of making a difficult, impressive feat look like a total accident. It is the practice of hiding the labor so the results appear natural and effortless. Social magnetism relies on catching attention by accident rather than demand. It requires engineering a high-value facade while keeping the calculated effort behind it completely invisible. Establishing that high-value presence begins with optimizing your biological architecture in private. You possess a biological advantage called neuromuscular adaptation. Your body keeps many muscle fibers in a state of hibernation to conserve energy, but consistent weekly training forces the nervous system to activate these fibers, making them grow to meet the new demand. For a beginner to maximize these results and add approximately 1 kilogram of muscle mass per month, the math is specific. You should train every muscle group 3 times a week, using 4 sets per group at 60% of your 1 rep max. Physical authority is often sabotaged by anterior pelvic tilt, which rotates the pelvis forward, compressing the spine and reducing height. Strengthening the core, glutes, and hamstrings pulls the pelvis into a neutral position, elongating the spine and restoring those lost inches. Physical presence is a mechanical outcome of optimization, executed entirely behind closed doors, so the world only sees the final polished result. Beyond the physical, you must manage information gap theory. Curiosity only exists when someone notices a hole in their knowledge. To keep a person interested, they must see that your life is changing without being certain of the details. You can influence their perception through spontaneous trait transfer. When you describe a positive quality in someone else, like speaking respectfully of an ex, the listener's brain often begins to mistakenly associate those very qualities with you. This psychological leverage is fragile. Breaching a stranger's intimate zone triggers a threat response, flooding the brain with sensory data like body heat and breath. This triggers disgust, a survival response far more permanent than anger or sadness. To maintain social flow from a distance, plant jump points in your speech. Mentioning a specific book or a hobby gives the other person multiple leads to continue the conversation, removing the pressure of awkward silences. Subconscious cues often outweigh your actual words. In 2025, researchers at the UBC Sauder School of Business used AI to analyze over 2,100 TED Talks to find what truly drives perceived competence. The data showed that speakers who used more hand gestures were rated as significantly more persuasive. High-authority communicators master 4 specific types: emblems that stand alone, illustrators that support speech, regulators that control flow, and adapters that release tension. Charisma functions as a system of spatial boundaries and linguistic levers, executed with enough fluidity to remain invisible. The final pillar of sprezzatura lies in intellectual leverage, the accumulation of knowledge and resources held in reserve. In the story of the Count of Monte Cristo, Edmond Dantes lost his promotion, his fiancée, and his freedom after a betrayal by jealous friends. He was condemned to rot for life in a prison cell with no hope of justice. His eventual escape and transformation into a powerful nobleman were only possible because of a mentor he met in prison. This mentor educated him in languages, philosophy, and strategy, providing him with a blueprint for a new life. This fictional account reflects statistical reality. Career data shows that those who seek out a mentor experience a drastically different life trajectory. By absorbing the discipline and intelligence of someone more experienced, you acquire years of maturity that most people never achieve. The highest tier of attraction grows from the quiet, rigorous transfer of maturity and discipline from an experienced mentor. When you combine physical optimization, social boundaries, and strategic mentorship, you create a unified front of high social value. This hidden work creates an information gap so massive that others naturally gravitate toward you, attempting to solve the mystery of your success. Most people will continue to struggle by loudly demanding attention and invading personal spaces, never realizing that those actions only push their goals further away. True social value and attraction are the inevitable results of becoming a person who no longer needs external validation to feel complete.